Good evening, folks. It's Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates coming to you from the crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. The time right now is 6:18 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on Sunday, April 19th, 2020. We want to welcome everybody that is here joining us here on our program today, whether you're joining us right now in our chat room or whether you are going to be joining us sometime during the program this evening, or even at a later time on a delayed broadcast. We want to welcome you all here. Thank you for joining us. We got started a little bit late. We had some technical problems here on this end, getting onto Zoom, and we also had some issues with our brand new computer. And so we went to the backup old computer, which I'm surprised is still running. I'm hoping we don't have any more problems with it. Cross our fingers. That's why we got a new computer. But we want to welcome everybody here. We've had some seismic events that have happened during the past 24 hours that we will be discussing this evening. Nothing huge and real significant, but enough that we want to pay attention to what is going on. And that is where we're coming from tonight. We want to make sure everybody is completely aware of what is going on, because I have a feeling that things are going to really pick up right away. We've got a ton of earthquakes coming up and down the coast of Chile and Argentina. And we have a swarm of earthquakes over in Central America, South Central Mexico. We have a small swarm up in the Pacific Northwest. We have a large swarm in Indonesia that we want to talk about. And so we're going to be going there in just a couple minutes here. We've got the chat room up and running today. We want to welcome Pamela is here, Linda, Marshall, thank you for being here. Connie, Scooter Pie is here, thank you. The Reliables, they're always here. Sheila is here. Linda's here. Susie Fujinaga is here. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Jenny's here. Let's see. I think that's all right now. But we will be getting more people here. I know it. Friends, we want to acknowledge we have 15 people here, 12 people that have given us a thumbs up. Please make that thumbs up go viral, please. It's a matter of getting this message out to as many people as we possibly can. YouTube needs to know that we're serious about this, and we want to make sure that we get the thumbs up here. It's very, very crucial. 16 people now in chat, and we have 13 thumbs up. Make that go viral, please. Earthquake-wise, I'm first going to take you over to the USGS page here. Okay, there we go. Okay, now you can see it just as I see it as well. These are the earthquakes that have happened in the past 24 hours. Now that large earthquake that we're seeing over off the coast of Japan, I want to tell you that they have not shown the present earthquake, a 5.7 magnitude quake that we'll be showing you in just a short while here. I don't know why USGS has done it, but it's not there. I checked and double checked this map. We will be going through here, and I will be updating everything as we move through this evening. But this is what it presently shows. Going Going over here to South America, they're not showing the swarm of earthquakes there. Central America over into southern Mexico, they're not showing much of anything. They're showing some earthquakes over in the United States that we're going to address as well. They're not showing the large swarm of earthquakes over here in central Indonesia. So we're going to go over that very quickly. The one earthquake that I want to show you that we had early this morning, late last night, early this morning, a 4.9, 5.0 down here in the South Sandwich Islands. That's a particular to note. The USGS says we have 56 earthquakes. We have far more than that. In fact, I'm going to go over here and on my phone, I have earthquake tracker here. I will be getting to in just a minute. We will show you exactly how many earthquakes we have. Before we go too much further, about 9 hours ago, at least 10 people were killed in a shooting rampage in Toronto, Canada. A 51-year-old man went on a shooting rampage across the northern part of the Canadian province of Nova Scotia Sunday, killing at least 10 people, including a police woman. Officials said the suspected shooter was also dead. The man was identified as Gabriel Wortman, and authorities said he disguised himself as a police officer in uniform at one point and mocked up a car to make it seem like a Royal Canadian Mounted Police cruiser. He was arrested by the RCMP in a gas station in Enfield, Nova Scotia, northwest of downtown Halifax. Police later announced that he had died. In excess of 10 people have been killed, RCMP Chief Superintendent Chris Leather said. We believe it to be one person who is responsible for all the killings, and that he alone moved across the northern part of the province and was committed what appears to be several homicides. Leather said they don't have a final death count. We almost certainly will be more than 10. How much more than 10? We don't know, he said. Brian Swab, president of the National Police Federation Union, said a police officer was among those killed in a shooting and another was injured. The dead officer was identified as Constable Heidi Stevenson, a mother of two and a 23-year-old veteran of the police force. Police have not provided a motive for the attack. He said many of the victims did not know the shooter. The fact that this individual had a uniform and a police car at his disposal certainly speaks to it not being a random act, according to the police chief superintendent Leather. Leather said they would investigate whether it had anything to do with the coronavirus pandemic. We have not yet determined that there is any link to the COVID-19 crisis, he said. He said at that point there was an exchange of gunfire between the suspect and police. There were a half a dozen police vehicles at the scene of a gas station where the suspect was shot. Yellow police tape surrounded the gas pumps and a large silver-colored SUV was being investigated. The incident started in the small rural town of Portapique, with police advising residents to lock their homes and stay in their basements. Police found many dead inside and outside the home of the first scene. Several structures were on fire in the area as well. This is one of the most senseless acts of violence in our province's history, said Nova Scotia Premier Stephen McNeil. He said it was an additional heavy burden among efforts to contain the new coronavirus. Mass shootings are relatively rare in Canada. Canada overhauled its gun control laws after the country's worst mass shooting in 1989, when gunman Marc Lepine killed 14 women and himself at Montreal's École Polytechnique College. It is now illegal to possess an unregistered handgun or any kind of rapid-fire weapon. Canada also requires training, a personal risk assessment, 2 references, spousal notification, and criminal record checks. Police stated earlier Sunday the suspect in Sunday shootings was driving a car that looked like a police vehicle wearing a police uniform, but later said he was believed to be driving a small silver Chevrolet SUV. He said it is not an RCMP employee or officer. Corporal Lisa Crotow, a spokesman with the provincial force, said police received a call about a person with a firearm about 10:30 p.m. Saturday night, and the investigation evolved into an active shooting investigation. My heart truly goes out to everyone affected, and what is a terrible situation, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said. Christine Mills, a resident of the town, said it had been a frightening night for the small town with armed officers patrolling the streets. In the morning, helicopters flew overhead, searching for the suspect. I feel better now to know that he is in custody, Mills said. It's a nerve-wracking feeling because you don't know if somebody has lost their mind and is going to beat in your front door. Tom Taggart, a lawmaker who represents the Portapique area in the municipality of Colchester, said the quiet community has been shaken. This is an absolutely wonderful, peaceful, quiet community, and the idea that this could happen in our community is unbelievable. Taggart said by phone from his home in Bass River near the lockdown area. Gabrielle Wortman is listed as a denturist in Dartmouth, according to the Denturist Society of Nova Scotia. Suspect photo issued by the RCMP matches video footage of a man being interviewed about dentures by CTV Atlantic in 2014. Mills also said that Wortman was known locally as a denturist who divided his time between a residence in Halifax and a residence in Portapique. Taggart said he didn't know Wortman well, but he spoke to him a few times when he telephoned about municipal issues. Taggart described knowing Wortman's lovely big home on Portapique Beach. He said Wortman owned a few other properties and he was believed to divide his time between Portapique and his business in Dartmouth. That's the issue about the Nova Scotia shooting. The suspect is in custody with this event. And I want to offer my deepest condolences to all those families who've lost loved ones, to the police force there, the RCMP officers, and all those who may be in mourning today. I am so very sorry for your losses. I'm so very sorry that this event had to happen in your community. It's a sad day in northeastern Canada. It's a horrible event. I found out about this just about a half hour ago before we went on the air, and it pains me deeply to learn of this tragic event in Canada. I am just going over some information here too. So if you can just bear with me for a minute. All right. I just cleared up that information here. We will also be talking tornadoes. We have a lot of bad weather coming into the southeast again, and we'll be talking about tracking tornadoes and working on that. We may even do an update later tonight on the weather condition in the southeastern part of the United States. We'll be talking about COVID-19 as well. This is going to be a day. It really is going to be a day. I'm not even going to bother with the USGS map. I'm going to take it down and we will just talk here together, and I'll go over the earthquakes as they appear here on the maps. We're going to be going over to the EMSC map, the Europeans. First off, we talk about earthquakes. All earthquakes start in the South Pacific. Today, in the South Pacific, we had a 4.7 magnitude earthquake in Niafu, Tonga. Now notice this whole area is on a undersea earthquake ridge, an earthquake superhighway, if you will. This earthquake, again, was a 4.7 magnitude earthquake down in Niafu, Tonga. But that's not the only thing that's happened today. If we go down to New Zealand, the southern part of the South Pacific down in New Zealand, we see quite a change from even yesterday. We have a large number of earthquakes in and around the North Island of New Zealand. We will be talking about these earthquakes just off the north coast. We have a 2.28 off the north coast of New Zealand. Fairly decent distance from the north coast. In just over in the Bay of Plenty, we have a 2.60 over here in the Bay of Plenty. Now this is nowhere near the White Island. I'm going to show you really quick. White Island is right over in this area right here. Now, White Island is where that volcano happened over north of New Zealand, off the north coast of New Zealand, that killed a lot of people. White Island is having a lot of earthquakes that are not even showing up on this particular earthquake map. Scientists are believing that White Island may be getting ready to blow again, and they are watching White Island very rigorously to keep an eye on what is going on. I'm hoping that the tourist boats are not going down there. They'd be crazy to be going down there. Over off the northeast coast of New Zealand, we have a 2.38. And over here, again in the Bay of Plenty, we have a 2.74 and a 2.60 right at the coast. Going inland in Rockaturi, Gisborne, New Zealand, we have a 2.28 there as well. Going down here off the east coast, we have a 2.73. Now, while these are minor earthquakes, there's a swarm, and that's what we're concerned about, is a swarm over there. Yesterday near Topo Volcano, we had a rather large, moderate quake there. So we're concerned about that. Over towards the eastern part of the North Island, near Ohuango, we had a 2.46. And you notice there's two other earthquakes over here to the west. We have a 2.29 and a 2.40 over here near the western part of the North Island. Going south, we have another earthquake down here. We can get it up here, which is a 2.33. 2.33. Now this I want to show you this larger map. This is out in a plains area. There's no mountains or anything, but a plains area of the North Island of New Zealand. There's not much going on here. There's really not much going on here. But if you look here, it is south of their craton. Okay, the craton here goes east and west here, and this is south of that. And so that may yield a clue as to why this minor earthquake happened. It's near the interior part of the craton of the North Island. Just an idea. It runs kind of north, east and west, and then it dips into the south and heads for the coast. Down here in the southern part of the North Island, Dayfield, Wellington, New Zealand, we had a 2.99. Now across the Cook Strait here, we have a 3.62. Okay, but you also notice the undersea earthquake fault here, the ridge. That may have something to do with this 3.62. Now this also here, we have another 2.28 near Mount Richmond Forest Park. Oh, darn it. Here's a 2.8 near Mount Richmond Forest Park here. Again, there's another craton edge here. Okay, that's probably why that happened. Then over here on the earthquake fault, Culverden, Canterbury, New Zealand, we have a 2.44, and it's pretty much right on or next to the fault as well. So we have those. There's no other earthquakes over on the South Island. They're just on the northern part of the South Island. Okay, so that explains that. But New Zealand always has earthquakes, always has earthquakes. A lot of people don't pay attention to them, but they have a great deal to do with what is going on in the South Pacific. So we have to look at those and see what is actually going on so we understand that. Over here in Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, as you can see, we have a lot of earthquakes there. Let's first look over here in Western Australia. We have another earthquake there. We've had many earthquakes lately over here in the western part of Australia. This is southwestern Australia. We have a 2.8. A 2.8. Okay, let's go over here to Papua New Guinea. We have a 4.7 moderate quake over here. And then we have more swarmage going on here. Let's take a look at that. The swarms start happening, and this is in Papua, Indonesia. There's a 4.3. Going over into central Indonesia, we have a 3.9. Just south and west of that, we have another 4.0. Okay, 4s going across the plate there. We have 4s going across this plate. From Papua New Guinea, Papua Indonesia, over into central Indonesia here as well. Okay. Going down into south central Indonesia, we have a 4.5. A 4.5 down here. Okay. We're going down into Java area, Java, Indonesia here. We have a 4.8. Just north of that, we have a 4.2. All these are moderate earthquakes. Now this whole area, you can see the plates here. This whole area we've talked about before, we have subduction going on over here. A lot of subduction going on here. There's seven different plates down here in the Indonesia area. 7 different plates that are subducting in one form or another. That's why we have all these earthquakes. Going up north into central Indonesia, Hutan, 4.2. Western Indonesia, a 3.3. 3.4 in Sulawesi, Indonesia. Going over just west of Jakarta, Sumatra, a 3.0, a 4.5 in southwest of Sumatra, more fours, and another 3.2 just north of that. Let's go up here into northwestern Sumatra, and we have a 2.6 there. So as we leave central Indonesia, we have smaller earthquakes. All the larger earthquakes are over here in central Indonesia. Now we do have a large earthquake over here as well, but that is over near Sarangani, Philippines. This is a 5.1 in Sarangani, Philippines. And we have a 3.5 magnitude aftershock in that same area. So we have a bunch of fours in central Indonesia with that 5.1 near Sarangani, Philippines. Going over into Mindanao, Philippines. Let's take a look at that. We have, okay, we talked about that. Going over into Mindanao Island, we have a 4.2 in southern Mindanao, Philippines. And we have a series of other earthquakes going over here into Davao City. Okay, so we have going south to north, we have a 3.0. We have another 3.0, a 4.7 near Baal, Philippines, B-A-U-A-L, Baal, Philippines, a 4.7. North of there, we have two more earthquakes. We have a 3.7 and also a, doggone it. And also we have a 3.4 up in the north area of Davao. Okay, now this is the same area where we had 6.3, 6.7, 6.9, 7.1 magnitude earthquakes just about 6 months ago. These people, well, 7 months ago, these people have suffered a great deal, and they still are getting these small and moderate earthquakes that shake fear back into their lives after what they've been through. Going over off the coast of the Philippines near General Luna, we have a 3.0. Again, this is right next to the earthquake fault. Literally right next to the earthquake fault on the ridge. General Luna, Philippines. Going up to just south of Luzon, Philippines, we have a 3.0 and another 3.0 near Agoncillo, Philippines. And then on the north end of Luzon, we have a 3.6. Okay, 3.6 just off the northern Luzon Island. Okay, then let's go over into central Japan. Gamagori Achi, Japan, we have a 3.6. Gamagori Achi, Japan, a 3.6. And also, we have a large earthquake that they're showing as a 6.3 there. This is from yesterday, okay? A 6.3 magnitude earthquake. This was 15 miles off of Ofunato, Japan. Now, this happened actually, this 6.3 happened today. because I just remembered yesterday we had that 6.6. So this 6.3 happened this afternoon at approximately 2:39 p.m. Mountain Time, 6.3. Now, I've also saw a 5.7 that's no longer on this map. Okay, so that's concerning to me. Where did the 5.7 go? It's crazy. It's crazy. Then just south of Hokkaido, we have another 4.3 moderate quake there, just off the south coast of Hokkaido. Then we go up into the Kuril Islands, south of Kamchatka, Russia. We have a 4.2 moderate quake over here in the Kuril Islands. Yesterday, we had 2 moderate earthquakes in the Kuril Islands. All this, folks, all these earthquakes that we see are headed north. They're headed north along the Western Pacific. And they're going to end up going right up here to Kamchatka area and up into the Aleutian Islands. More large earthquake, more large seismic power going up through the Aleutian Islands over towards Alaska. I don't think that's what anybody wants to see right now. I don't think that's what anybody wants to see. Plus, we have, I'm going to show you this here. We have a fault line going from Kamchatka, and it goes, where does this go to? Straight to the Gorda Escarpment. Straight to the Gorda Escarpment. So this earthquake, this seismic energy could go right down to the Cascadia subduction zone. Or it could go straight across from Japan. Let me show you that. See, we have an undersea superhighway there. Another earthquake ridge undersea, and it goes straight towards California. All this earthquake energy, this seismic energy, could be headed there. It could also go to Hawaii. It could go to Hawaii. Okay? It's moving. The earth is moving, folks. The plates are moving. They're in a perpetual state of motion. Now, while we're talking about that, that's not the least of it. Okay? That's just part of it. Between now and the 22nd, today is April 19th. Between now and the 22nd, we have a CME incoming. We also have planetary alignments, 3 planetary alignments. These are critical alignments, okay? This could also play into seismic energy. It's an electromagnetic force from the planetary alignments that can play into this. We can see a rash of large earthquakes again, just like we did the other day, where we saw 10 large 5.0 greater earthquakes all around the Pacific Ring of Fire. Then we even had several other earthquakes over in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, this could all play into it. Depending on the condition of the Earth's crust, we could have some very, very strong earthquakes, upwards of 6.8 to a 7.2. Okay, depending on where the plates are and what exactly is going on. So we need to keep our heads and eyes focused on the problems. We need to make sure we have our preparedness kits, our preparedness plans in order, no matter where you are in this world. Like I've said before, we are a worldwide program now. We have listeners and viewers literally all over the world. We need to keep our eyes on the ball, make sure we are prepared. COVID-19 is going to seem like a small thing when one of these monsters hits. And we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared. Now, I'm briefly going to go and show you South America. I want to show you what's going on in South America. It's almost 7 o'clock here in the Mountain Time Zone. Okay. Literally, the USGS showed us one moderate quake over, well, it's not even moderate. Well, yes, it is. It was a 4.3 over in Ecuador, in northern Ecuador. But literally, they tried showing us only one earthquake over in South America. I'm going to show you dozens. Right now, I'm going to show you dozens of earthquakes up and down the coast of South America. From South Chile all the way up north. Okay, a lot of earthquakes. Okay, let's start down in South Chile off the coast of Los Lagos, Chile. We have a small 3.8. Small 3.8 there. Going north, we have near Male, Chile, we have a 2.5. Further north along the coast, Valparaiso, Chile, a 2.7. Now these are minor earthquakes, folks, but the force is building. Okay, Valparaiso, Chile, a 2.7. Further north, Coquimbo, Chile, we have a 3.5. Again, I said that the energy is building. Just north of Coquimbo, in that same region, we have a 2.7. 2.7. Going over to the fault, just east of the fault here, offshore Coquimbo, we have a 3.9. 3.9 right here. Let's go north. Northern Chile here, folks. Antofagasta, a 2.5. Another 3.0, Antofagasta. 3.0 in Antofagasta right there. 3.0, 3.0. Let's go north. We've got a cache of earthquakes here. Region de Tarapacá, Chile. There's a 2.7, and right next to it is another 2.7. Remember, we've been talking about multiple earthquakes, the same size of earthquake. It builds, folks. So 2.7s right next to each other in Tarapacá, Chile. Just north of there, we have a 3.2. And we have another one just north of there, another 3.0. This one is east of De Pisa, 28 miles east of De Pisa, Chile. Okay, that was a 3.0 there. Then we go up into Tacna, Peru. Tacna, Peru has a 2.7. Now, Tacna, Peru is over by Sabancaya volcano. Let me see if I can locate it on this particular map here. Not sure. there's two volcanoes almost side by side. One is Sabancaya and one is Ubina volcano. I believe this is Sabancaya right here. Sabancaya volcano. And it's literally within a couple miles of Tacna, Peru. Okay. Tacna, Peru has a 2.7 magnitude quake there. Okay, let's go further north. Arequipa, Peru, a 3.7. Central Peru, Arequipa, Peru, a 3.7 there. Then we go up the coast, 3.7 here. Another earthquake north and east is a 4.2 near Junin, Peru. Peru. Then we go up to Ecuador. Notice all these earthquakes here. Okay, this earthquake is a 3.9 here. I wanted to show you that. Then we go further north. Colombia, 2.1, a 3.1, and it goes north. Come on. 3.1, a 2.4. Near Antioquia, Colombia, 1.9. And two more earthquakes. Cesar, Colombia, a 2.2. And over near Zula, Venezuela, a 3.7. Okay, we have a small swarm there between Colombia and northwestern Venezuela. Okay. Then over off the northeast coast of Venezuela, near Norte de Garcia Island, we have a 3.1. 3.1 out there in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, now before we leave this area, let's go talk about over here in Puerto Rico. Okay, we're still getting hit with a pretty large swarm of earthquakes here in southwestern Puerto Rico. Okay, these are mostly small minor quakes, 2.65, 2.49, 2.80, 2.64, 2.64. Guainía, this is where our friend Dominic lives. Okay. Guanica, here's a 2.33. And over here near La Perguera, we have a 2.48. Like I said, most of these are just minor earthquakes, but the fact of the matter is they are still huge swarms of earthquakes. Okay, this was not just a large earthquake. This was a mega quake here, an 8.0 and an 8.4. It was a plate shattering earthquake that had been here that caused this to happen. Now over off northwestern Puerto Rico, remember the 6.3 that hit last August? The same time Hurricane Maria was coming into Puerto Rico, we still have earthquakes up there. Here's a 3.62. Okay, that's at the north end. 3.55, 3.56, 3.20, 3.28, and 3.31. Okay, these are pretty good sized earthquakes. Even though they're small earthquakes, they're a swarm of earthquakes going from 3.9 to 3.2 down here. That's substantial, and we have to keep an eye on it. That whole plate is rocking and rolling, folks. That whole plate is rocking and rolling. And this is just south of the Cayman Ridge. The Cayman Ridge stretches from Central America, going over and around Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and then takes a dip and goes straight into Venezuela. It makes a straight, not a straight, but really a sharp curve around and dives into Venezuela. We have one lone earthquake over in northeastern Dominican Republic. That's a 2.8 there. 2.8 here over in the southern shores of the Dominican Republic, southeastern shore of the Dominican Republic. We have a lone earthquake over on the north side of the Cayman Ridge in the Haiti region. This earthquake is a 3.0, north of Haiti, north of the Cayman Ridge. Okay, that's what's going here. Let's go over to Central America. Like I said, we have some earthquakes down there that we can't just avoid. Over off the western coast, northwestern coast of Costa Rica, we have a 3.5 and a 3.6. Nothing else off the coast of Honduras here. Nothing off the eastern coast of Honduras. These are on the west coast. Over in Guatemala, folks, this is something that's concerning us because we have two volcanoes over there, Fuego and Santiaguito volcano. Actually, there's three, Santa Maria, Santiaguito volcano, and Fuego that are also erupting there, okay? We have a 3.8 here in Guatemala. Okay, I just found out, I just got a message, we had a 5.2 magnitude earthquake down in Vanuatu, Okay, we're going to go show you that right now. Then we'll go back to Central America. Okay. Remember Niafu, Tonga here? We had a moderate quake here in Vanuatu. They've just had a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. This was 29 miles east-northeast of Luganville, Vanuatu, 5.2 magnitude earthquake just now. So we have three large earthquakes in the South Pacific. This one in Vanuatu, actually, yeah, Japan's considered Western South Pacific, but we have this one here in Vanuatu. We have a large earthquake at 5.1 in Indonesia, and we have another 6.3 off the east coast of Japan. So we have three large earthquakes, and I believe that's going to build up now. I believe that's going to build up. Okay, let's go back up here to Guatemala, Central America, and South Mexico. Okay, we just got through telling you about these earthquakes over in Guatemala. This one is in Fragines, Guatemala, 4.3, and also in that same area, we have two earthquakes, a 4.3 and a 3.8, side by side, north to south, or south to north here. 4.3 here, and just north of that, come on, just north of that, we have a 3.8. Guatemala. Going north, southern Mexico. This starts at 3.8. Southern Mexico. Then look at the swarms going on. Huge swarm of earthquakes here in southern Mexico. Off the coast, 3.6, 3.8. Now I'm just going to hit a few of them. I'm not going to hit all of them. Two 3.6s, a 3.8, 3.7, 3.7, right next to each other, two 3.7s again. Okay, and then they continue. They go inland ashore, and they continue here, folks. 3.4s, 3.8s, 4.3s. Going north, Osaka, Mexico. This is over near Popocatépetl. This is a 3.3. That's a 3.3 there. Here's another 3.3, that same area. It's huge, 3.4. Large swarm of earthquakes here in southern Mexico, folks. What are we looking for? We're looking for another 5.0. That's what's going to happen down here in southern Mexico. We're about to get hit with another 5.0. Now, we thought that was a big swarm. Look at this one. 20 plus earthquakes plus these others here. Okay. Again, 3.3s, 3.3s, 3.1s, 3.3s, 3.7s, 3.1s there, and it spreads out. It spreads out and continues going up the coast. 3.3s, 3.1s, 3.2s, 3.5s. The swarm just continue going north. They continue going north. It's all over. All over. Going north over towards San Marcos, Mexico. Here's a 4.1, just off the coast of San Marcos, Mexico. Acapulco, north of Acapulco, we have a 3.3. Acapulco's right there, 3.3. Okay. Offshore from Acapulco, 32 miles offshore, we have a 3.5. And they go all the way up almost to Puerto Vallarta. Puerto Vallarta is right here. Okay, what are these? More threes, 3.4s, 3.2s, 3.2s. Almost up to Puerto Vallarta. Now we have no more earthquakes until we get up to Southern California. We're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. Okay, we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. Notice here, 100 plus earthquakes in Southern California. Actually, not just Southern California, this is Northern California too. 100 plus earthquakes. We're going to see 50 plus earthquakes over in Southern California, just north of northeastern San Diego County, going over towards Palm Springs and the Marine Corps desert training facility out there near 29 Palms. Okay. Let's go over to take a quick look at Alaska. We have an earthquake over near Mount Redoubt. Okay, here's a 2.1 near Mount Redoubt. That's not just saying that those are the only earthquakes. There's quite a few minor earthquakes up and down the peninsula of Alaska going in towards Anchorage. Nothing in Anchorage itself. Big Lake, Alaska. We have a bunch of ones. Big Lake, Alaska, just northwest of Anchorage. And then going up towards Mount McKinley, over to Denali. Look where the earthquakes are here. Look what there are. They're on the east side of Denali. We have one lone earthquake on the northwestern part of Denali, northwest of Mount McKinley. But all of these earthquakes are east of Denali. Large swarms of earthquakes east of Denali. Okay, power pressures building, folks. These 1.7s, 1.2s, 1.9s, 1.4s, 1.4s. Over on the western side, another 1.4. But this large swarm of seismic energy on the eastern side of Denali, that better worry you. That better be of concern to all of you, because those of you that live in Alaska, and we have quite a few viewers in Alaska, you need to be watching for a large earthquake coming up into your neck of the woods. Over near Kobuk, Alaska, Ruby, Alaska, 1.6. That's just east of Kobuk. Over in Kobuk, Alaska, guess what? We have 9 minor earthquakes over in Kobuk, Alaska, right here. Again, pressure's building. Kobuk, Alaska has had 2 6.3 magnitude earthquakes during the last year and a half. 2 6.3s. These 1.3, 2.0, 1.4, 1.10, 3.3. We need to keep an eye on Kobuk as well. It looks like pressure is building around Kobuk, Alaska. Okay, over to my thumb, over at Nome, Alaska. Nome, Alaska, we have a 1.6. Okay, Nome, Alaska is a 1.6. Now, we have another earthquake over in just south of Katowik. We have a 1.8. There were 2 earthquakes here just a short while ago, and one was this one being a 1.8, the other one's a 2.8, just north of there. But this is just south from the North Shore pumping operations. North Shore pumping operations. Okay, so we have pressure returning to northern Alaska as well. But the swarms are just north of Anchorage and on the east side of Denali National Park. Pressure's building, folks. Pressure's building. Let's go over to Vancouver Island. We had a 1.59 magnitude earthquake near Port Alberni, Vancouver, Canada. 1.59 magnitude earthquake. Down into Washington, Vashon, Washington. Here's a 2.0. Now, what do we have here? I wonder. Mount St. Helens, folks. Mount St. Helens, 2 earthquakes up at the summit. That's the plug, folks, right here. 2 earthquakes. One is a 0.33. The other one is a minus 0.02, just showing that it's above sea level. Minus 0.02, it's above sea level at Mount St. Helens. Now, we're not showing any earthquakes right now at Mount Rainier. Now, I'm going to show you here, just a minute. I'm going to show you here that we have things that are going on even up at Mount Rainier. I've been watching this activity all day long. right. Let me pull up this map for you. In fact, let me show you how you can pull it up yourself. Okay. Programs here, right here at the top of the page. You can click on map. That's how you come to this location right here. We're going to take a look at Mount Rainier. This is just one of the locations for Mount Rainier, RVC. Rainier Victor, excuse me. Oh gosh. Mount Rainier, Voigt Creek. Oh man. This is the activity right now at Mount Rainier. Now, why they're not showing anything here, I don't know. Mount Rainier is getting steam eruptions here. This is the, you can see the curlicues here. These are steam eruptions here. We have magma coming into the volcano. This is last night. Remember when we had the program on here last night? This is where we were last night. Look at the steam eruptions happening here at Mount Rainier. And you can't tell me there's no earthquakes. I won't believe it. There's one right here. There's another right here. There's another quake right here. We have magma coming into the volcano, folks, and we have steam eruptions at Mount Rainier. And those of you that live up here, and I know there's quite a few of you. If Brian, for example, if you can go out and take a picture of Mount Rainier and send it to us, or another video, better yet, send us still photos and another video of Mount Rainier, and let us show you this to everybody. Let's show these videos and the still photography of Mount Rainier. We have major steam eruption going on at Mount Rainier. Okay, this is what was going on since last night when we were on last night. And this is what's been going on all day today. All day today. Magma coming into the volcano. Let's go over to Mount St. Helens just for kicks and giggles. In fact, but before we go there, let's go over to Mount Baker, MBW. Okay, go over to Mount Baker. Then we'll go to Mount St. Helens. Because they're not showing us these earthquakes. They're not showing us what's going on at Mount Baker. Now, if you remember, Mount Baker has been steaming. Okay, we have a 2.6 magnitude earthquake near Bremerton here. Okay, this is live right now. Okay, let's go back a day. Let's go back to last night and earlier today. Now, if you remember, last night we still had magma going on inside Mount Baker. And we have steam eruptions. See the steam eruptions here? Curlicues here. We have steam eruptions. And yet we're not showing anything right now, currently. That blows my mind because this has been ongoing. This has been ongoing. Okay, you can see it. The steam eruptions at Mount Baker have been ongoing for several days now. And magma intrusion going on into the volcano here. That's last night going into today. And now it's not showing anything. I honestly don't believe that. What they do, shut off the system here? I mean, it's flatlined. We haven't had flatline at Mount Baker for months. And yet it's flatlined there right now. Okay, now let's go to Mount St. Helens. Okay. Now we're going to show you detailed seismograms tomorrow. I've been monitoring all this whole area, folks. Okay, this is what's going on right now at Mount St. Helens. This is also recording a 2.6 near Bremerton. Okay, let's go back to earlier today. Ignore this blip here. That's one of the imperfections of the seismogram. It happens a lot on these recordings here. You can see some magma intrusion here. Look at what happened before we came on the air today. Okay, this started happening about 2 p.m. today. There was some activity before that. Occasional blip in here. Look what it's showing here. This is right before we came on the air. Okay, right before we came on the air. Now, why is it not showing anything right now? Okay, it's showing very little activity here at Mount Rainier. Let's go over to Mount Hood. They're not showing any earthquakes at all. We saw two minor earthquakes at the summit of Mount St. Helens. Okay, and we're just showing blips of magma here. Let's go over to Mount Hood. Mount Hood in the past few days have had quite a few, actually swarms of earthquakes around Mount Hood Village. Okay, so let's go over and take a look at Mount Hood. Okay, look at this. We have some magma coming in Mount Hood right now. Again, ignore this imperfection in the seismogram here. Let's go over just before we came on the air today. Bingo, look at this. Mount Hood has got magma intrusion as well. Magma infill is going on. It's not as heavy duty as Rainier or as heavy duty as Mount Baker, but look at this. We have magma coming into Mount Hood as well. Okay, so we can show this. We can show it. It's very evident of what is actually going on. Very evident of what's exactly going on here. Going over to the chat room. Hey guys, Cindy, it's good to see you. Yes, Cindy, it's wow. Absolutely. And Scooter Pie, you're absolutely right. Schumann resonance is really off. Yeah, it really is. CMEs, the grand solar minimum, planetary alignments, and soon comets will bless our skies. Yes, Pam, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. It's incredible. It's incredible to watch this. Folks, we have 32 thumbs up, 33 people in the chat room. Let's see if we can get some more thumbs up here, please. We'd really appreciate it. We have people that work. Please give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. Marshall, it's good to see you. And yes, Chellis, Idaho has been swarming today too. We're about to show you that. Yes, hit the like button. We'd appreciate that. And yes, yes, Palm, God is definitely in control. God is in control. Susie, I'm sorry your body hurts today. I've had some issues too. I even laid down and took a nap earlier this afternoon. I woke up with about 45 minutes before my program, only to find my brand new computer's not working. Don't get that. Don't get that. But anyway, folks, we have a lot of things going on, and we need to get ready for it. We can't take our eye off the ball. Not at this point. Not at this point. Gail, it's good to see you here too. Thank you for joining us. Laura, thank you. We really appreciate all of you being here. Oh, gosh, it's good to see you all. So good to see you. Okay, folks, let's go back here. I want to show you these earthquakes too. As Marshall said, Chellis, Idaho is swarming as well. There's 3 plus 10 plus. That tells you something. Chellis, Idaho is swarming. Look at that. All over the place. Literally all over the place. Let's go up north here. 2.5, 3.0, 2.66, 2.73. Okay. 2.6. Let's go to this swarm. 2.5, 2.53, 2.77. I'm not going to hit all of them. I'm just going randomly. Here's a 2.8 Chellis, Idaho. Okay. Down here, 2.7, 2.9. It's all over the place, folks. From 3s to 2.9s. All over. Good size swarm. Good size swarm there in the Chellis, Idaho area. Now, up north, in the northern part of the Yellowstone Volcanic Chamber, we have a 2.6, Boulder, Montana. Boulder, Montana. Going south, Soda Springs. We should continue showing it. Soda Springs, a 1.70 on the southern end. Now, why is there such a discrepancy between Yellowstone and Chellis, Idaho? Folks, the Yellowstone magma chamber is 11 Grand Canyons in size, going up to the northern part by the Canadian border, all the way over to the western part over by Chellis, Idaho, the Cascade Range here, all the way down to Soda Springs. 11 Grand Canyons in size. Huge magma chamber. Huge magma chamber. You'll notice that we have no earthquakes being recorded in Salt Lake. I don't understand that. Why would all of a sudden would this dry up? It's become a silent zone. That's not good. Silent zones are never good. We just had a 5.7 a month ago, March 18th. Up to yesterday, before yesterday, we were having 10, 12, 14 earthquakes a day, and now none for 2 days. No earthquakes at all, 2 days. Nearest earthquake we have is in Current, Nevada, a 1.5 in Current, Nevada. That's the nearest we have. Okay. Also, they're not showing us every earthquake over here in the Triple Junction area either. We're seeing a 2.58 just off the coast from Petrolia, California, right between the coast and the Cascadia subduction zone and the Gourd Escarpment. And right here, the Triple Junction, the San Andreas Fault. We're only seeing one. There was two earlier today. Two earthquakes over there in the Triple Junction. Let's see here. Yes, there was a 2.6 as well. There was a 2.6 as well. Okay, let's go down here. I also want to point out that we have no earthquakes over here in Carson City either. There's no earthquakes over here near the volcano or Carson City. What happened there? Interesting, huh? North of the geysers, folks, Boonville, California, and Little Lake, Boonville, California, and Lakeport, California, 1.77 earthquakes. 1.77 earthquakes, 1.65 in Boonville. Over here in geysers, we still are having earthquakes. Geysersville, we have geysers. We also have a man-made geothermal facility pulling steam from the Clear Lake volcano to power turbines to generate electricity. That's why we have these earthquakes over in the geysers. But lo and behold, nothing east of there. Nothing east of there over in the Carson City area, where we've had 8 to 10 earthquakes every day here in Carson City near Reno. Okay, nothing today. Silent zone again. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's really, really unfortunate. Okay. So geysers, we have 10 plus earthquakes. Going south of there, Kenwood, California, 1.6, and Glen Ellen, California, 1.54. 1.54. Okay, two minor earthquakes there. Glen Ellen and Kenwood, California. Going south, Vallejo, California. Vallejo, California, 1.09. Notice these are east of the San Andreas. The San Andreas has gone quiet. It's also not a good thing. Not a good thing. Now, we have earthquakes. Remember Bodie, California, east of Mono Lake? We have 20 plus earthquakes over here. 20 plus earthquakes over here. There's Mono Lake. So this 5.1 that we had here a week ago is generating this kind of activity still. 20 plus earthquakes there. South of there, what is this? Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth Mountain, we're still seeing a lot of earthquakes, and it's going to continue. The seismic energy, folks, is moving still. 1.97, 1.65, 2.23, and 1.85. Mammoth Mountain still getting hit. Let's go down even further south Big Pine, California, a 2.3. Oh, darn it. Hate it when that happens. Big Pine, California, 2.3. And over in Goldfield, Nevada, the middle of the caldera out there, Goldfield, Nevada, still getting hit today. And then we go over to Cozo Junction, folks. Cozo Junction getting hit all over the place today. I spent a great deal of time looking at Cozo Junction, this whole area around Cozo Junction today. It's getting smacked around. Okay, let's go south. Let's go south. The swarming continues. Leave Cozo Junction and swarming continues at Little Lake, California. And it continues to go south. 0.93, 0.43, 1.03, 0.55, 0.34, and that's just some of them. That's just some of them. Swarming continues. Ridgecrest. Ridgecrest has gotten hit several times today. Ridgecrest 0.85, 1.0. Searles Valley 0.99, Ridgecrest a 1.02. That's 8 miles northeast of Ridgecrest. 1.03. Okay, it's getting hit all over the place. 1.08, Ridgecrest. 1.39, 0.89, Trona, California, 1.02. Trona, California was where most of the damage was when Ridgecrest got hit. Trona, 1.02 today. It continues. It continues. Now, Inyokern. Inyokern has a 1.12. Okay, it's north of the Garlock Fault. Inyokern here, the Garlock Fault, running away from Mojave, running over towards Los Angeles. We have nothing on the Garlock Fault today. Nothing in Johannesburg, California, nothing. Okay, you notice that this whole area has gone silent. The whole area has gone silent. The closest earthquake we have is in La Cañada. La Cañada, Flint Ridge, California, 1.15 today. Silent zones are bad. Silent zones are not good, folks. Let's go down into Mira Loma. Mira Loma over by Glen Avon. Mira Loma 1.25, Fontana, California is 0.93. It's all part of the Anza Gap coming in here. Look at all the earthquakes at the Anza Gap, folks. Anza Gap hopping all over the place. 1.48, 0.76, 0.72, 0.49, 0.54. It's all over. The Anza Gap is still pulling earthquakes. We have quite the swarm of earthquakes. Okay, going over San Diego County, Borrego Springs, 0.98. Pine Valley, 0.83. Okay, going over into San Diego. Actually, it's not San Diego, it's Baja California, just south of the border. We have a 3.8. 3.8 going east. Going east, we have a 3.4 and a 3.4 and a 3.7 together. 3.4 to 3.7, just south of our border. just south of our border, 3.4, 3.7. Okay, let's go back up here because we're not through with the Anza Gap yet. 29 Palms, Indio, California, 0.89 over by the military base. Okay, that's north of the Salton Sea here. Okay, let's go over to the Salton Sea. Just west of the Salton Sea, Salton City. Gosh darn it. Salton City had a 1.48. 1.48, Salton City. Then we go south into Imperial Valley, south of the volcano, south of the Salton Sea. Westmoreland, California has a 1.45. 1.45. Okay. Come on, raise the thing. Now this 1.45 is out in the middle of a field. It's probably lettuce or something else growing out there, but it's out in the field. But it's still moving. This whole area is moving and we can't take our eye off the ball. We have quite a few silent zones. That's worrisome. Okay, that's worrisome. Now, we don't have any earthquakes today in Texas, but we have up in Oklahoma today. Brahman, Oklahoma, we have a 1.88. Now, I haven't seen Brahman, Oklahoma on the maps here before. Let's go see what Brahman, Oklahoma has. This is where the earthquake is. Let's see if there's any oil and gas nearby. Okay, let's see what we've got. Bingo. We got a tank. We've got a small pond that we throw water, wastewater that's been treated, and we pump that down into the cavern to get the oil and gas out here. Huge facility here. Huge facility. I'm looking for a jack and a pump here. I see barrels piled on the ground. I don't see too many jacks and pumps, just that one facility there. Okay, Brahman, Oklahoma had an earthquake. Yes, there was one facility that we marked here. No, I don't see any more jacks or pumps here. Let's go out and check out these other earthquakes here in Oklahoma. Okay, south of Brahman, we have Stillwater, Oklahoma, a 1.74 there. We know we have plenty of oil and gas operations there and near Stillwater. Actually, there's two earthquakes, 1.74 and a 1.57, right next to each other. 1.57 and 1.74 there. Now, we know we've got oil and gas here. It's interesting. Very interesting. I see a bunch of former pumping pads. Got a bunch of vacant pads around here, a bunch of them. That's interesting. I don't see any more active pads. Bingo, got one. There's a pump and a jack and oil lines and everything else and tanks. So Stillwater, Oklahoma does have oil and gas pumping going on. Right next to it, right next to these earthquakes. Okay, Stillwater, Oklahoma. So there's two there. Let's go south to Guthrie, Oklahoma. 1.82 near Guthrie, Oklahoma. Okay, Guthrie has been here many times. Come on. Let's see what Guthrie has to offer us here. There it is. Another pumping operation. Unreal. Anywhere there's an earthquake, seems like anywhere in Oklahoma there's an earthquake, there's oil and gas going on. So over in Brahman, Oklahoma, Lahoma, Oklahoma, 1.95. I don't think we went over there. Let's take a look at Lahoma, Oklahoma. Lahoma, Oklahoma. Found some pipelines. Where did the pipelines go? Right to a pump and jack. Right there's a pump and jack. You could always find an earthquake right next to pump and jack. They're there. They're there. Gosh, that's funny. It's not funny, I'm sorry. I don't have anything against oil and gas. And I've had SUVs and I've had trucks throughout my life. And I'm sure all of us at one time or another have had gas guzzlers. Okay, here we have another one. Oil and gas pumping operations near Loyal, Oklahoma. Okay, Loyal, Oklahoma. There we go. Look at the pumps and jacks all over that area. Loyal, Oklahoma. And we back out, look at all of them there. Hundreds of pumps and jacks. Loyal, Oklahoma. Wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. Oklahoma, where the wind comes right behind the rain, Oklahoma. And watch us get it. One of these days, they're going to get me with a hit. Anyway, we had 2, 4, 6 earthquakes in Oklahoma, around Oklahoma today. All of them around oil and gas pumping operations. Now, we had no earthquakes along the eastern coast of the United States and nothing in the New Madrid area, okay? It's been quiet. Now, I don't necessarily think quiet even over at New Madrid is a good thing. It's not. It's not. But we see 20 plus earthquakes in the Anza Gap. Over here in the Mojave Desert, what do we have? 50 plus quakes there. And geysers just moved. 20 plus earthquakes around the geysers, and also coming up here to the Gorda Escarpment. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, we have earthquakes, and I showed you the volcanic activity happening over there at the volcanoes. Like I said, tomorrow we will be showing you a lot of seismic activity. We're going to be showing you what is going on over at the Cascadia area there. Before we leave, and it's getting close to 8 p.m., before we leave, I want to show you what is going on in Hawaii. It's quieted down in Hawaii, quieted down substantially. We have one earthquake of 1.91 in Pahala. Remember, we had a huge swarm of earthquakes over here in Pahala just in the past few weeks. One lone earthquake in Pahala. Okay, what do we have here over by Mount St. Helens? Just south and west of Mount St. Helens, we have a 1.7, not Mount St. Helens, I'm sorry, Kilauea. That's Mount St. Helens on the brain. 1.73 just south and west of Kilauea. Kilauea is right here, 1.73 up here. Okay, just south and west of Kilauea. Then over here, Fern Acres. Remember the East Rift Zone when Kilauea was emptying out? We have a 2.24 here, 2.24. We have 1.84 and a 1.93 in Fern Acres. Fern Acres. And these are the only earthquakes on the Big Island. Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa have calmed down. Nothing out of them during the past week or so. Okay, during the past week or so. These earthquakes here, these 5 earthquakes are the only thing going on the Big Island, the west side of the Big Island. Nothing else is going on. It's quiet. It's quiet. And for that, we can thank our lucky stars. Anyway, I've briefly taken you around the world, not everything, but shown you the main arteries that are going on around the world. Folks, it's a pleasure to be with you. It really is. I appreciate you guys joining us for Sunday school this morning. I really enjoyed providing that for you. I enjoy being with you. I ask the Lord to bless you and bless each and every one of us, our families, our friends, our neighbors, our loved ones. God bless you. Do know that we love you. And as Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Sunday, April 19th, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates and all of you there, thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for everything. God bless. We'll see you tonight. If there's anything going on with those storms down in the southeast, we will be probably coming back on the air just a little bit later. Take care, everybody. Good night, everybody.